Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dewald Brevis. Now, there are very few players in this format, the T20 format, that can afford to not capitalize on the power play. Well, Dewald Brevis is one of them. Okay, this guy doesn't need to think, oh, power play, now I need to score. He is a walking power play. Doesn't matter what over, doesn't matter where, he only deals in boundaries. Okay, absolutely phenomenal performance. For somebody that I've been following for years, for somebody who I've prayed for so many times, to see it all come off, to see it all come together like this is absolutely magical. The only question is, are you guys even watching? Now, the reason I'm asking that is because I just kind of got the feeling that nobody watched the match on Sunday, and it's just crazy to me that you would not want to. If you think about how the world tuned in to India versus England, you know, I can't for the life of me understand why you would not want to watch South Africa versus Australia. I mean, South Africa and Australia, Kerry O'Keefe said it, and I agree with him, both in second place in terms for that, you know, contention for that World Cup. Obviously, India, they're favourites. But why the hell would you not want to be watching what the other T20 teams are doing, you know? If you're a young cricketer that wants to play for India one day, I mean, should you not be watching matches from all over the world? I mean, you know, 25 years of cricket for me, and sometimes I feel like, oh, you know, yeah, I feel like maybe I know quite a bit, but then you listen to Mark Waugh, to Howard, to O'Keefe, and you just learn more and more things. I mean, the information that you get from Australians about Australian conditions, it's unmatched. Okay, the same as if you get the information from South Africans about South African conditions, it's unmatched. So if you're an upcoming Indian cricket player, or you've got a son or a daughter, I mean, this is the type of stuff that they need to be watching. So I hope that people are going to tune in on Saturday, okay, and watch the final, because it is 1-1 now, and it's just surprising to me. So yeah, my little bit of a rant there, but let me know about that. Are you guys watching it? Is it not possible to watch it? What is the story there? Because all of India's matches are being broadcasted here, right? Anyway, let's get to the match. Fantastic. What's interesting for me about this match so far is the second innings, there is so much dew, but yet both matches have been won by the team batting first, right? Usually we're quite used to dew kind of favouring the batters, but it seems that chasing has not really been the answer so far. But now we're moving on to a new location, Cairns, I think. A lot of unknown places in Australia. I'm learning a bit of geography here as such, but what an innings by Dewald Brevis. I said the other day, you know, if he can just give himself a few balls, 4, 5, 6 balls, doesn't need to capitalise. The other day he came in, I think in the 6th over, felt like he needed to get the most out of the power play. You don't need to get the most out of the power play, okay? You can hit boundaries for fun. That's what you do. It doesn't matter about field restrictions. It doesn't count for a certain handful, maybe 2 handfuls of player. That stuff does not count. And I do believe that Dewald Brevis is one of those players. I mean, guys, look at this quickly. There was not a single bowler that did not go to town. Okay, he doesn't really care who the bowler is. I'm quite excited to see what he's going to do against Bumrah. I think, yeah, I'm not sure if India might rest. Is there a series coming up? I'm pretty sure we've got a 5 T20 match series coming up against India later in the year. Look, he's not afraid of anything or anyone, and I just think that Shukri's doing a really good job here. He's throwing in these young kids. Good day for Querna as well. He's the leading wicket taker now in the series. Querna Mapaka, 19-year-old, you know, with Hazelwoods and such, and Rabadas as such there, bowling Geedies as well. Geedy, his role was just becoming bigger and bigger for me in this setup. I feel like he's getting closer to that 2020 sort of like 2019 sort of like Lungin Geedy. It's interesting because all those years ago, you know, he used to play for CSK, and now it's almost as if he's kind of becoming Dwayne Bravo reincarnated, right? I mean, I feel like he's developed a new slower ball as well. There's this one that looks like it's going to be a no ball, full toss, but then it just dips, and he bamboozled, I think, 2 or 3 of the Aussies, different guys, not the same, 2 or 3 different batters with that. So, I mean, you know, people think that, okay, set up for the slower ball, but which slower ball is he going to bowl? Because you don't know, is it going to be an off cutter? You know, is it going to be back of the hand kind of slow ball? He's got about 3 or 4 of them now in his arsenal. Yes, guys, there's the word, Arsenal. What's happening this weekend? Excited for what's coming. But yeah, so tough choices for Shukri, but I think everything is just looking really, really good, that we've got a decent squad of players that we can unleash in different types of conditions. Today they did actually play with what I prefer is at least 6 batters, 6 all-out batters, and it just changes the dynamic, I think, for the guys at the top there to just really kind of have a good go at it, because you know that there's at least, excuse me guys, 1 or 2 players coming in there at the back that could also get the job done, right? But if you feel like everything kind of falls onto you, and then there's 4 all-rounding, a lot of them bowling all-rounders, then it becomes a bit of a mission. So I like the balance of the team a lot more today. We'll see who's going to play in the next match, but I thought Stubbs as well. A lot of people are criticizing him, but I thought today it was an egoless performance by him. Sometimes you just got to accept that there's a guy striking 200 at the other end, and he's on his way to make a century. That's when you just got to be like, okay, give him the strike, So sometimes we don't praise batters doing that sort of thing, because T20 can very, very easily become an egotistical sort of game. But I thought that was really great by Stubbs. Great partnership by those two. South Africa were in a bit of trouble there. A bit more aggressive by Markram and Rickleton. I really hope that those two come off in the next game. But then again, when South Africa was bowling, quite a bit of inexperience in that bowling lineup. Corbin is experienced, but he hasn't played that much. Kwena is young. Peter actually bowled really well today. Yes, I know that first over was tough, but then fantastic captaincy by Aiden Markram, I think, to just hold him back, bring back Rabada, get a breakthrough. And the moment there's a bit of a door open, you can launch in the lad again. And I thought his comeback overs were better, a bit more flight in the ball, a bit more confidence. You are a leg spinner. So I just think maybe that first over he was firing it in too fast, which is always a bit of criticism for me with spin bowlers is, you want the ball to do something. Sometimes you just have to bowl a bit slower, let it drift through the air a bit more, like we saw from Sundar in that test series. But I thought great little comeback there by him. Again, Lungin Gidi, very economical. When you're dealing with a score like a 230, you get one guy in. That was my cat again. Apologize, guys. She's blind. Sorry. So she sometimes walks into my gear. When you get a bowler in, right, that goes for like 5-6 runs and over, I mean, it just completely screws up the momentum, right? So I think it's going to be interesting what bowlers he's going to pick, because I feel like there's different types of bowlers who can play different types of roles, right? Rabada again was excellent. I thought Markram, he's very under-bowled, and today he had to take over the responsibility of being the spinner and the power play. He did get the big wicket of Travis Head, which I thought was great. But this is just an interesting stat here from Tim David. 70% guys of his runs are from boundaries. I think only Chris Gale, he's on like a 72%. I would like to see Brevis in about a year from now, what the percentages are going to be there, because he's also on his way. But that's just the kind of bruiser mentality. But also right at the end of South Africa's batting innings, things started slowing down a bit, because I think the ball just got soft. There's already some dew. But this is an interesting stat by Skull, Mr. Kerry O'Keefe. If teams score, guys, 66 or more, let's keep this in mind for the future. If teams score 66 or more runs in the last 5, they win 70%. So 7 out of 10 matches, they win. That's a gigantic stat. Okay, T20 is all about stats, right? Look at this one about Sean Abbott. He's not really somebody, I think, that's in contention for that 4th spot. I think they're looking at Nathan Ellis. I think Duarte has been doing really, really well with the ball. He's got a lot of change-ups. He's also a lefty, which obviously I like. But look at this one about Sean Abbott here. When Australia wins, 18. When they lose, his average is 62, right? And I'm going to be honest, he didn't bowl too well today. So that's way above 18 today. And that's the same thing with Zampa. Again, Zampa didn't have a good game today. When Zampa doesn't bowl well, guys, Australia lose. It's some sort of witchcraft situation story going on there. But when Zampa does not bowl well, Australia doesn't win. That's massive. Which means if you've got one batter, we've got Brevis, India, they've probably got a few. England, that's going to be the big test for me with England. It's going to be how they're going to manage spin bowling, right? So as we know, Harry Brook is a big fan of spin bowling, especially there in India and Sri Lanka. But if you've got a guy, one batter that could take him down, right? Hit him for 15, next over for 10, 12. I mean, that's kind of it, right? You put Australia under an immense amount of pressure. So all of these things, all of these stats are going to come into play in the T20 World Cup. And if you have any weaknesses, you'd want to be sorting those out right about now. And I feel like you need to find your role as a player. That's why I keep talking about Lungi Ngidi, because it seems as though he's got a very set role in that lineup, right? He is the slower ball master, which means whenever you want to slow the game literally down, you literally want to slow it down, you bring him in and say, well, you know what, all right, try and hit 20 off him. And what happens is then he bowls a really economical over and the guy in the next over comes and takes the wickets. So it's almost, for me, in a sense, more teamwork, this format, than almost all of the others, because every little thing is a domino effect on the next because the game moves so fast. Again, I do not understand why you guys would not be watching this. Two absolutely fantastic matches that we've had here so far. Saturday is going to be an absolute blockbuster. 2:45 India time, 11:15 South Africa time. Australia, don't know, what would that be? 7 p.m, 7:30 p.m. Yeah, if you watched, what were your thoughts? And yeah, the top sixes are also shaping up really nicely for South Africa. For Australia, it's going to be interesting to see who the other top sixes are. I'm happy that Shukri is incorporating all of these young talents. I do feel like, guys, you might think that our 11 is going to be a lot like the one in the previous World Cup. Don't be surprised if there's at least 3, 4, I don't know about 5, but maybe 4, 5 changes. There's a lot of people putting up their hands now, and I just love the fact that the moment Klaasen stepped out, the moment Brevis stepped in, you know, we lost a bruiser, we got a Brevis.